Why do people in Hollywood think that after 16 years they can start fresh on a movie that did not need to be touched? It's frustrating and angry, and here we go again. Stick around for my review for The Strangers Chapter 1, because in my viewpoint, it should have never been written.
Loophole of horrors! Loophole of horrors!
Welcome back, guys, to Little Paul of Horrors. I am Little Paul. This is Little Paul of Horrors, and thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for subscribing if you have already subscribed. And please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Click down there. It's free. And I'm here to entertain you and to give you my opinionated commentary about horror movies. So please subscribe. It's for free. And click and like, thumbs up. Do all the great things that YouTube is there for. And let's get started with The Strangers, a final chapter, which sucked a big bag of monkey crap. This was a terrible, awful, horrible movie. Why, Brian Bertino, did you remake your classic from 2008? Why, in the name of everything that is holy in this world, did you decide to go ahead and start something from scratch?
From the beginning to show the origins.
Why? There was no point. I don't understand. Scott Speedman, Liv Tyler, 2008 was a great movie, The Strangers. This is not. So let's get started. Who directed this movie? Well, I'm glad that you didn't ask so I could respond. The person that directed this movie is Renny Harlin. The actors in this movie is Madeline Petch, who plays Maya Lucas, and then there's Froy Gutierrez, who plays Ryan. Those are the only two characters. And then we actually have, the Scarecrow, the Dollface, and the Pinup Girl, who are the killers. And one thing that I like to add that I've rarely ever added before in any of my other commentary
is Michelle Harrison, who edited this movie. The editing in this movie is not good.
Editing is the lifeblood of the movie. If you don't have good editing, you don't have a good movie. Michelle Harrison, I don't know what was happening to you during this time, but go back and hopefully review what you did so that you don't make the same mistakes in the next one. Anyway, getting back to the movie. This movie was terrible. Why was this movie terrible? First of all, there was no reason to make it. That's the first thing. There was no reason to make the origins of The Strangers. This is a cash grab. And I hate it when Hollywood does this, okay? The movie itself is very much mimics, in certain parts, the original. So Madeline and Froy, are the actors, or Maya and Ryan, the characters, are a loving couple that have been together for 5 years, and they're driving to this interview that she's supposed to have to get this job. And as they're driving, now this is very important to this review. They're driving and they're being all kissy-wissy, romantic-y, whatever together. And then she leans in for a kiss, and the moron is not watching the road as they're driving. And there's this truck coming, and then all of a sudden he has to put on the brakes so they don't crash, right? And he has an asthma attack because he has asthma. Now keep that in mind, because it's really important to the rest, to what I'm going to say during my commentary. So he has an asthma attack, takes out his asthma inhaler, does what he has to do, and he's fine. All right. So now they need to stop off somewhere because they need to go eat, and they go to this place, and they find this place called Venus, Oregon. A population of over 400 people. They drive into this restaurant. They want to go eat. And the moment they walk inside, like almost in every other horror, I don't understand what it is with with this storyline that is etched inside the writing of these types of movies.
Why is it that when city folk or city people or people who come from the city come to a little town and they walk inside a diner or whatever, everybody just turns around and looks at them like they came from Mars or from another planet?
What is up with that? Like, that's not realistic. Maybe a few if they were looking at them, okay. But that's not realistic. Anyway, so they go there, they have their dinner or whatever they eat, blah, blah, blah. She's a vegetarian, who cares? And then they need to get somewhere. They need to go back on the road. They get back inside the car and they start to drive. He goes to start the car and the car doesn't work properly. And then, they have to go get it fixed. So there's a person there who comes and tells them that they can help them by fixing up the car, and they need to rent a place for them to go to stay the night because it's going to take a day for them to get the part for the car. Then they go to this Airbnb that's driven, and they're driven there by this by the waitress that served them. Okay, anyway, they're too lovey-dovey. It's too
Chitsy wootsy smoochy woochie.
It's too much of that. It's that in itself is horrific. Okay? In the original one, with Scott Speedman and with Liv Tyler, there was a good chemistry between the two. And he's heartbroken because she has told him that she will not marry him, which adds to what happens to them later in the night. This one is basically two lovers who are basically at the wrong place at the wrong time. So they go to the house, the same knock on the door. Is Tamara here? No, she's not. You have the wrong place, like in the original, blah, blah, blah. And then, they go back. He goes to go get dinner for them because she's hungry. And then she's inside there. She starts hearing things inside the house. She smokes a joint, which was, you have to see this. As she's smoking the joint, she's like, in this like trance. It was so stupid. It was just so dumb. And he goes to go get something to eat, whatever. And then in one part, now we know that as you watch the movie, the killers are inside the house already. So it's like within 25 minutes to half an hour, they're already inside the house. She is taking a shower. And as she's taking a shower, you see this man pop out of nowhere, and he's right near the glass. The shower door where she's taking the shower. You don't see this guy? You don't see this guy. He's right next to you. You don't see him. Okay. I'll believe that. So then, after that, she's waiting for him to come inside the house, to come back with the food. The power goes out. She's looking for the switch, and all of a sudden, the person appears in front of her, and she's screaming, and she sees the face, and she sees the mask, and she's screaming, and then she goes to hide herself inside this closet, and then she thinks it's the person coming to get her, and it turns out to be Roy. Now listen to this explanation about what it could have been. This was so stupid. And again, this is the same guy, Brian Bertino, who wrote the first one, wrote this one. Now, it just goes to show. I understand, and I don't get it. For me, it makes no sense. He's telling her,
Are you sure that you saw her?
well, how could you mistake seeing a person in front of you? So this is what the explanation is. She smoked a joint. So, like, honey, did you smoke a joint? She was like, yeah, well, I smoked a little bit, whatever. And then they go into this room, and he opens up the room, and then he's lying against the doorway of the doorway, the opening of the room. And he looks behind him and is like,
Oh, I know what it is.
and like he pulls his head back, and then his far left, sorry. What do you see? You see a picture of a clown. That's his explanation. Oh, you were high and you saw this. And then she's like, oh, well, maybe. Are you kidding me? What? Okay. Whatever. Dumb. Then, as we get into the movie, the killers appear. They're being chased around the house. Now, in the first one, there's not much lighting. The lighting is focused on the house and on the lights that are outside, on the lampposts that are outside of the house. In this movie, there's lighting all over the forest. I'm like, where the hell is this lighting coming from? It reminded me of the Thriller video from Michael Jackson when they're inside the movie theater and they're looking up at the screen and he's turning into a werewolf and he's running after his girlfriend and there's all this light all over the place inside the woods. No, because in the first one, the dark is very present. It's there. It makes sense because you can't see things very well. Obviously, you're in the dark. There's no lights in the woods. Now there's lights in the woods. Okay, fine. Now they're running around. Now, as they're running around, they're being chased. He gets a hold of a shotgun and he shoots in this scene. In one of the scenes, which was so ridiculous, the killers corner them now. He crashes like Madeline, or Maya, who's the character. The villain or the killer crashes through the mirror, the window, grabs her by the neck. He's about to like pull her out, and then this shotgun blast comes out of nowhere. And Ryan is holding a shotgun and the guy flees. Where are you aiming? You could have killed them both. A shotgun blast is a huge blast and does humongous damage, and you miss them by an inch? What? But that makes no sense, but okay. The movie doesn't make any sense, but let's keep on going. They try to escape on a motorcycle. The motorcycle explodes. Then they try to go underneath the house and to get inside the den. And magically, somebody's inside the den because they're psychic too. They know exactly where they are every single time around the chase scenes. Wherever they're running around, they're always caught. Now, remember when I told you at the beginning he suffers an asthma attack from that one incident where he almost crashes into the car because he decides to kiss his girlfriend as he's driving? Throughout the rest of the movie, he doesn't suffer one asthma attack. I would think that when you're being chased by psychotic killers who want to kill you, and you're prone to asthma attacks, which you had one before almost crashing into a car, you would have another one again. But no, he doesn't have one. Magically, that doesn't happen to him. No, not this time. He's fine. Another thing that made me think to myself, this is really stupid. If you have a shotgun with you, why is this guy, the killer in the scarecrow mask, running after you? You have a shotgun, he has an axe. And why is it that whenever you're shooting at him, you always miss? The guy is always able to get out of the way. Like, who are you, the Flash? You have superpowers now too? You can evade and escape shotgun blasts. You're that quick. Okay. Another silly thing and ridiculous thing about the movie. Aside from the fact that there's absolutely no chemistry between these two. And, Froy Gutierrez, I'm sorry. Your range as an actor is 2. You either look like you want to fart or you're holding one in. Because that's what your face looks like throughout almost the whole time, the entirety of the movie. And there's just no chemistry between the two. It's not like Scott's Speedman and like Liv Tyler in the original. There was chemistry. You could feel the pain between the two because she said to him that she wasn't going to marry him. Which leads, which when these people come inside hunting them and trying to kill them, just adds to what they're going through. to the issues and the problems that they were having, and then just have this added on top of that. In this one, it's like at the end, towards the end of the movie, when they're tied up and they're captured, after 5 years of her asking him that, you know, are we gonna get married? Are we gonna get married? Which was one of the themes in the movie. He asks her then to marry him. Okay, so now that you're gonna die, you're gonna ask her to marry you. The other time you didn't, but now you do. All right. And in the first one, the kill scene is much more, you know, sadistic. It's powerful. It is. Meaning that it's like, it really, it ingrains itself on you. The reason why, it's because of how gross and demented it is, of how they kill them being tied up. In this one, they stab them once and then tip them over and let them bleed out. So after all of this type of running after them and trying to kill them, it's to stab them once and let them bleed out. In the first one, it was much more believable. They're sadistic killers. That's what they do. So another strike against this one. And the ending. Oh my God, the ending. Wow. The ending was just stupid. In the first one, where Liv Tyler is lying on the ground in her dress, in the wedding dress that she was supposed to be wearing, bleeding, the little kid comes up to her, you know, one of those, I guess one of those Mormon children that just was, you know, curious to see what happened inside there because they were riding along with their bikes. And she opens up her mouth and her eyes and she screams. She's like, ah! And she screams. In this one, she wakes up in the hospital. Okay. And then as you see in this scene here, she's lying in the bed. And she gets up. And the killer is right next to her. You don't see him? He's lying next to you in your bed. And you don't see him. I don't get this. Brian, why did you write this? Why did you touch the perfection of The Strangers and make this? Is it for a cash grab? I guess so, because you did. I guess so. Look, it did well at the box office. I guess it was like a budget of about $8 million, and it made about $43 million. That's a good return. But just because it made $43 million doesn't mean that it's a good movie, you know. And for once, I agree with or on the rare occasion, I agree with Rotten Tomatoes. It's not a good movie. It got 21%. It's not good. It's bad. So the chemistry between the actors is bad. The reason, you know, and the kill scenes are stupid. The romantic part is they try way too hard. They're trying way too hard. It's too.
Lovey dovey, smoochy woochie, I love you too. It's just so dumb.
I was like, what are you doing? Like, just stop. You know, it was just too disgustingly overly romantic for me for a horror movie. It's overdone. And, you know, the killers, like being able to know exactly where they were every single time they were hunting after them, being able to evade shotguns, and then him having no asthma attack throughout the whole time, but he only had that at the beginning of the movie. It was just ridiculous, dumb. I did not like it. They should not have been made at all. Leave the classics alone. Just like Rob Zombie, who made Halloween and Halloween 2. You shouldn't have made them your own version. Leave them alone. Come up with your own original idea. Make something different. Make something new. This is not new. It's not different. And it's an insult to the exceptional and amazing movie of the original, which was just great. It was just great. And I'm still trying to figure out to myself how in the world the person who actually wrote the first one and directed the first one wrote this piece of crap and made this movie. It's just amazing. Anyway, I didn't like the movie, as you can obviously tell. So what do you think about it? Have you seen the movie? Leave your comments down below. Please leave your comments. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs down. Leave your comments below and tell me what you thought about this movie if you saw it. I think you have. It's been out for a while now. If you haven't, it's on Prime. You could rent it, and that'll be $6. I'll never get back. But I wanted to do it because I wanted to give a review on it, because I also wanted to watch it, because I said, you know what? Let me give it a chance, because I saw the first one. The first one, I said to myself, hey, maybe this will be good. And it wasn't. It was not. At all, as per my opinion. So please leave comments down below. Please share, like, and subscribe this channel. Please let people know. Let us grow this channel. I want to be able to have people watch and see, what do you like? I have other things out there. I have the Did You Knows, where I leave pieces of information of horror movies, of classic horror movies that people did not know about, or maybe did not know about. So there's other things coming down the pipeline, hopefully soon. So, it takes, many people to create a big village. I think I screwed up that saying, but it takes many people to create a village. I think that's what it's called. If it's not that, leave a note down and tell me what the actual saying is. Aside from that, thank you very, very much for tuning in, for watching. Please subscribe to this channel. And note of advice, it's 2023. If you need to stop off anywhere for anything, just make sure you're watching your car. Just when you watch the movie, you'll understand what I mean. Just watch your car, and don't stay in places where people are giving you the evil eye, or this kind of look. There's no point. Just do something quick, get inside your car, and just get out of there. We don't want any more of these things happening if they can be avoided. And in these horror movies, I'm sorry, Brian, this was a huge miss. Anyway, until the next time, enjoy the show.